So let's start from Israel. Pini Gerson.
Imaginative.
Simon Mizrahi.
Historical.
Saras Jaskevicius. You can tell more if you want, okay? It's
Sure.
just
Extremely creative and special.
Do you think it will be tougher opponent like a coach or like a player?
I think he's pretty. He was and is pretty good at both.
Yeah. Nikola Vujicic.
Unique big man that, in my opinion, is one of the many misses of the NBA. He's a guy that certainly in today's game would have been a starting NBA center.
As an executive?
Pardon?
As an executive with Maccabi?
Nicola,
Yeah.
as an executive, well, I worked with Nick 1 year. He was in a managerial position, and I think that he's doing a good job, and he's working hard to develop in that area of his life.
Yeah.
And I wish him the best.
Andrei Kirilenko.
Very, very special, very unique as a player and as a person, and somebody that, one of the favorite guys I ever had the opportunity to work with, because he was and is, he's such a special guy, in a lot of different ways, and certainly in a lot of different aspects of basketball, but just a special guy.
Do you think that he can become very important for the world basketball from the new asset?
I just think that he's the type of person that, as long as he's interested and wants to be involved in basketball, that unquestionably he has a lot to offer, because he's smart and he's very, very vision oriented,
Yeah.
and he has a deep understanding, I think, of how things should be, and I appreciate that about him.
J.R. Holden.
JR was also a very special guy, somebody that I loved to work with, because he was about the right things, and he was quiet but powerful and strong in his impact on the things that went on around him. You didn't hear JR a lot, but you felt him.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Nikos Zisis.
Well, for me, he's probably the one guy that was the most joyful to coach. And I've said on many occasions, this isn't a secret, and I'll say it again. When I was coaching Nikos, I had a small boy.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I've always said that I wanted my kid to grow up to be like Zizis.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I can say my kid has grown up,
Yeah.
and I don't know that he's like Zizis, but I am very happy to say that he's sort of followed in his path of playing the game in the right way, and being a young man that that's great to work with, that's about the right things, that's so coachable and so ambitious to do well and to help his team do well, and at the same time has a personality that is a winning personality too, and these are the kind of qualities that Nikos had and has, and I can only hope that he'll have the long and successful and great career that Nikos had. But he's the kind he's going to be successful no matter what he does, because he's a successful person.
Yeah.
Luka
Doncic.
my opinion, the biggest miss in the NBA draft. He was the #1 pick, no question, in my mind.
Yeah.
But okay, you know, that's my orientation, and knowing both leagues and understanding, I think that teams in many cases draft for position or maybe draft for potential. But in terms of readiness, NBA readiness, there was no player in the draft that was more NBA ready than Luka Doncic. Unquestioned, hands down. Now, to say that a team has to draft that guy for those reasons, they don't. You know, you can draft whoever you want and for whatever reasons you want.
Yeah.
But Luka is a unique talent, and he's going to have a great NBA career, in my opinion.
Obradovic.
You know, honestly and truly, one of the greats in our game for all time.
Maurizio Gherardini.
You know, a wonderful basketball person that has both knowledge of the game and personality to want to work for and work with. You know, one of my very favorite people in the business.
Do you think that because of him, we can have also in Europe, like in the NBA, the importance of GM as a role in the professional European team?
The position of GM can be different things on different teams, you know, and it just sort of depends on what amount and what scope of control that you have, given the particular management structure that you work in, you know.
Yeah.
But Maurizio, you know, is also truly one of the greats that's worked in our game. But you know, I can tell you that it was as much as he was professional and talented in his field, he was also a pleasure to work with. You know, and I had a similar experience, for example, in the last 2 years working with Mithat Demiral, who's much younger than Maurizio, and you know, and younger in the business, but he was terrific to work with. You know, so talented professionally, and such a support system, and such a shoulder to lean on, and a friend to have in this tough business. You know, that I, you know, guys like that, Maurizio and Mithat, you know, those are guys that have all of my respect and all of my appreciation.
I will put in the mix as well Bluthendal.
David Blue.
Yeah, because I know that when you call him back, you know, the last time he was ready to retire and switch jobs.
Sure. Well, you know, I've always said, people ask me who were the best players that I had in Maccabi, for example. They asked me to name the top 5 or the top 10. And David Blue would be in my top 5 of players that I coached in my many years in Maccabi, because he was so impactful and so important to the way that we played. And because of his skill set, we were able to do and have the kinds of success that we had. David also, he was a competitor. You know, he would compete with anybody, and I always appreciated that about him.
Oded Katas.
Just, you know, one of the greatest misses in European basketball, and perhaps also in NBA basketball, because of his, you know, his unfortunate injury and end of career long before its time. You know, Oded, he was a very, very unique talent, and he was on his way to having, you know, a great career, you know, at the level of players like Diamantidis and Bodiroga and others. And unfortunately, his career was cut short. But I think he would have been many years in the NBA, honestly.
Makes sense. Scottie Wilbekin.
Another one of my favorite guys, just because of how hard he worked to improve himself and to become the best player that he could be. And again, he's young and he's still got years to grow. But in my 2 years with him, I just saw a guy that shot like a rocket from underneath to the very top, and I'm happy to see that he's in my old club, Maccabi Tel Aviv, and at the top of the food chain right now, and I really hope that he succeeds because he's a great kid.